I have made my favorite player from every single franchise a 99 overall in NHL 24, and we are going to see how differently that affects the NHL over the course of a 5-year simulation, as who knows, maybe some new teams will go ahead and take the Stanley Cup home at the end of each season. But I mean, the real question is, who is my favorite player from every single NHL franchise? So let's go ahead, take a look at every single team, and see which players I bumped up to a 99 overall. So starting off with the Anaheim Ducks, I bumped up Trevor Zegras to a 99 overall. Who knew his Michigans could actually make me like the guy? He is having a rough year in real life, but he is probably my favorite player on the Anaheim Ducks. Now for the Arizona Coyotes, this was a bit of a tricky one, as I really don't care about any player that currently plays on the team, so I said screw it. I made Shea Weber a 99 overall, considering he's on their team here in NHL 24, so it technically counts. For Boston, easily David Pastrnak. I mean, the 60-goal man, he's a highlight reel. I could have gone with maybe Brad Marchand because I do kind of like the way he plays, but I am going to go with Pasta, 99 overall. For the Buffalo Sabres, it's going to be Tage Thompson. I mean, he plays a lot like Mario Lemieux. He's not nearly as good, but the play style is pretty similar. For Calgary, as much as I really don't like that many players on this team, I am going to go with Jonathan Huberdeau because I have felt so bad. His career has really fallen off a cliff, so he's back up to a 99, back to putting up 100-point seasons, hopefully. On Carolina, I went with Brent Burns, one of the best scoring D-man in the NHL in his prime. I mean, if we take a look at his stats here, he had a damn near 30-goal season, 27 goals, 22 goals. For Chicago, obviously, it's going to be Connor Bedard. I mean, who else would it be? He's going to be the next phenom in the NHL, probably the best player in the NHL by the time he hits his prime by like 25 years old. McDavid will probably be like 34 at that age, I think, something like that. For Colorado, I went with the best defenseman in the NHL, which is Cale Makar. I mean, he's got a Norris, he's got a Conn Smythe, he's got a Stanley Cup. What else has this guy not done? Also, the second fastest defenseman to hit 300 points in the NHL, only behind Bobby Orr. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, I did go with Mr. Fortnite himself, Patrick Laine. I mean, before Fortnite, this dude was a 40-goal scorer, and his career has not really panned out since then, but he's back up to a 99. On Dallas, I went with Tyler Seguin for one reason, and one reason only. For that time in warm-ups when those two fans made that sign for him, saying that they did some stuff for him back in high school. If you know, you know. For the Red Wings, I gotta go with Patty Kane. I mean, one of my favorite players in the 2010s. Showtime, he really got his nickname. Always a playoff performer. He's back up to a 99. I mean, he already simulates well at a 91, I think he's at in NHL 24. For the Oilers, no explanation will be needed, as Connor McDavid is up to a 99 overall. Probably my favorite player of all time. For the Florida Panthers, I went with Matthew Tkachuk. He really won me over in his playoff run last season. I love the way he plays, him and Brady both. But I mean, he's been a back-to-back 100-point scorer, and he shows up in the playoffs. The LA Kings, I didn't really know who to go with, so I just went with Anze Kopitar. It's not really that I like him so much, but nobody else really on the Kings interests me that much. Pause. For the Minnesota Wild, I had to go with Kirill Kaprizov. They don't really have that great forwards on their team, or even defensemen. On Montreal, I did go with Cole Caulfield to a 99 overall. He's got the nickname, and he does somewhat have the goal-scoring gene. On Nashville, I went with the absolute rocket that is Roman Josi because of his good looks. For New Jersey, I easily went with Jack Hughes. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL right now, probably top 5 to 7. He's going to be a stud, maybe the best player in the world one day, who knows. For the Islanders, I did go with Matthew Barzal because back in his rookie season, this guy was one of my favorite players to watch. He had 22 goals and 85 points, but since then really has never lived up to that same hype. For the Rangers, I had to go with Jacob Trouba because I love the way he plays. He brings an old style of hockey that is really missing in the game today. He's a 99, best captain in the entire league right now. For the Ottawa Senators, I went with Brady Tkachuk. Again, just like Matthew, I love the way he plays. And he's a hell of a player, and he's a big body as well. So pause, but 99 overall, there he is. Now for the Flyers, I was going to go with Carter Hart, but because he took a leave of absence, and there's this whole investigation going on with the team candidate team from 2018, and players have to go to Ottawa or Toronto somewhere. I couldn't go with him. It would have been a bad look, so I'm going with Jamie Drysdale, just newly acquired, 99 overall. Now for the Pittsburgh Penguins, obviously I had to go with Sid the Kid Crosby, one of the greatest players of all time, and one of my favorite players of all time as well. On San Jose, I went with Logan Couture for one reason and one reason only. Back in 2016, he was the leading point man in the playoffs. Don't ask me how I know that. The Seattle Kraken, I went with the former Edmonton Oiler, Jordan Eberle. He played a lot of years in Edmonton, and he was a pretty decent player over his time there. Got traded to, and didn't get traded. He got selected, I believe, to Seattle. Actually, he might have got traded. He did get traded to the New York Islanders, and then he got selected in the expansion draft to the Seattle Kraken. Actually had a big year last year, 63 points. For the St. Louis Blues, I went with Jordan Binnington because he doesn't look nervous. Now for the Tampa Bay Lightning, I went with one of the most underrated players of our generation in Steven Stamkos, 99 overall. I mean, this guy's a two-time Cup winner, 100-point season, 60-goal season. He's got 2 Maurice Richard trophies. As an all-time legend, he's definitely going to go down. Obviously, a first-ballot Hall of Famer. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, I did go with Mitchell Marner. He's pretty much been my favorite Leaf since he got here in 2016. I could have gone with Matthews, but I do believe I like Marner a little more. For the Vancouver Canucks, I went with Quinn Hughes, the second best defenseman, or third in the NHL right now, even between him and Adam Fox, but I would slightly lean Quinn Hughes right now. On the Vegas Golden Knights, I went with Mark Stone. I don't really have a reason for this. I could have gone with Jack Eichel, but instead I went with the Stone Man. For the Washington Capitals, I obviously had to go with the greatest goal scorer in NHL history, which is Alexander Ovechkin. Having a tough season in real life, but he's still the GOAT scorer, so. And finally, for the Winnipeg Jets, I went with Mark Scheifele because of the fact that he absolutely laid one of the greatest hits I've ever seen in a playoff game on Jake Evans. When he tried to wrap it around on the empty net, he had no fucks given whatsoever. So there we go. We know every single player that I bumped up to a 99 overall, my favorite player from every single franchise. Now let's go ahead, simulate 5 seasons, and see who goes on and wins the Stanley Cup. Before we do that, if you guys do enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single live stream or video that I put out on the channel. Now, at the end of season number 1, somehow the Seattle Kraken are going to go on and be the best team, going 54, 22, and 6, good enough for 114 points. Followed by the New York Rangers, who have 49 wins. Tampa Bay had 51. Pittsburgh was up there. The Red Wings were very good, as well as Florida. At the bottom, we do have the San Jose Sharks, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Edmonton Oilers. What the hell? I mean, I guess we didn't really bump McDavid up too high because he was already at 97, but this is straight up disrespect by EA. The best team in the NHL right now is the Oilers, 14-game winning streak, and you're going to disrespect them like this? Sidney Crosby is going to go ahead and lead the entire NHL in points with 121, followed by Stammers, 120, Pasta had 109, Scheifele, 108, Brad Marchand was up there, Jordan Eberle had 105, Cole Caulfield was up there, Breadman, Ovi had a 100-point season. Now on the goal side, Ovechkin will lead 60 goals on the season. Patrick Laine had 58, finally put down the controller and stopped playing Fortnite. Stammer had 58, Crosby 54, Kaprizov 53, Cole Caulfield had 52, Matthew Tkachuk was up there. Logan Couture had 49. Now for defensemen, Roman Josi's going to lead with 99 points, followed by Cale Makar's 94, even though he's a 99 overall. Erik Karlsson had 93. Shea Weber had 28 goals and 87 points. Quinn Hughes was up there. Trouba had 77, also 34 goals. Vasi is going to lead in wins with 44, followed by Binnington's 43. Jari had 41 now for shutouts. Binnington is going to lead with 6. Jake Allen had 5. Tristan Jarry 5. And Ville Husso 5. Now we have a very weird but maybe very fun Stanley Cup final matchup between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Nashville Predators. Obviously, Stammer was a 99 and Roman Josi. Both of these teams have made the Stanley Cup final since 2017. Only one of them has won a Stanley Cup since then, but let's see who goes on and takes home the Stanley Cup at the end of year number 1. And the Nashville Predators are going to somehow pull off the upset as they pretty much dominate Tampa Bay in 5 games in the finals. I mean, they were up 3-0. I'm absolutely shocked by this. In no way did I ever think Nashville was going to win this. I thought Tampa Bay was going to dominate most of this simulation. I was proven right until they choked in the finals. Hey, maybe Nashville fans were chanting at Andrei Vasilevsky, it's all your fault. Who knows? As Roman Josi is going to take home the Conn Smythe, 8 goals and 33 points, pretty much carried the Predators to here. So definitely well-deserved Conn Smythe trophy for him. As there it is, the Stanley Cup waiting to be presented to the Nashville Predators for, I believe, the first time in franchise history. Here comes their captain, Roman Josi, the beautiful man that he is, coming to lift the Stanley Cup for the first time in his career as Nashville has pulled off the unthinkable in year number 1. So Roman Josi is going to go ahead and lead everybody in points for the playoffs with 33, followed by Kucherov's 26, also had 13 goals. Stammer had 13 and 25. Forsberg had 20. Cirelli was up there with 20. Brandon Hagel had 20. Sidney Crosby is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy, while Ovi's going to win the Maurice Richard. The Norris will go to Cale Makar. Conn Smythe is going to go to Roman Josi. The Vezina to Jordan Binnington, and the Selke will go to Anze Kopitar of the LA Kings. Now, at the end of the second season, the Winnipeg Jets are going to be the best team in the NHL as they go 52, 22, and 8. Good enough for 112 points on the season. Followed by the Colorado Avalanche, who won 51 games. The Rangers were up there at 49. Vancouver won 49. Detroit as well. Oilers finally bounced back. They won 46 games. They're probably going to win way more than that in real life. Actually, maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't really know. But we won 14 straight. That's all that matters. And the fact that we're going to win the Stanley Cup at the end of the season. At the bottom of the standings, yet again, we have San Jose. Arizona is down here. Anaheim's bad. Vegas, somehow, even though I added Mark Stone or bumped Mark Stone up to a 99, somehow they got worse, only winning 34 games. And poor Connor Bedard, 99 overall, suffering on the Chicago Blackhawks. David Pastrnak is going to lead the entire NHL in goals with 71 and points with 128. He had himself a season. Followed by Patrick Kane's 122. McDavid had 116. Marchand 116. Draisaitl had 110. Sagan 110. Jack Hughes 109. Matthews was up there, only 44 goals. And yeah, okay. On what planet does Austin Matthews put up 59 assists? That's not happening whatsoever. Definitely not on Earth. Now on the goal side, Bedard's going to lead other than Pasta. He had 66 goals, only 33 assists, but that's because Chicago is so bad. Patrick Laine had 62. Jack Hughes had 60. Ovi 57. Cole Caulfield 57. Of course, Patrick Kane's going to be up there as well as Trevor Zegras, who had 51 goals. Now for defensemen, Quinn Hughes is going to lead with 95 points. Cale Makar had 93 and 32 goals. Roman Josi had 93. Carlson 91. Drysdale 78. Alexander Georgiev is going to lead in wins with 45, followed by Hellebuck's 43, Demko at 43, and Shesterkin's 42. Now for shutouts, Vasi's going to lead with 7, Ville Husso had 6, Kakinen 5, Bobrovsky 5, and Georgiev 5, as well as Gibson, Vejmelka, and Sorokin all had 5 apiece. And in the Stanley Cup final, we yet again have the Nashville Predators trying to go back-to-back here, but they are up against the New York Islanders, who do have a 99 overall Matthew Barzal. So let's see who is going to take home that Stanley Cup at the end of year number 2. And the Nashville Predators somehow did it again, as they are going to go back-to-back, winning the Stanley Cup for 2 straight seasons to start the video, as they again dominate in the Stanley Cup Finals in 5 games. I don't know what's going on with this Nashville team. I guess putting Roman Josi to a 99. He was already a 94 overall, though, is what I don't understand. But now the fact that I bump him up to a 99 and they become literally the greatest team of all time, winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. As UC Saros is going to win the Conn Smythe, not Roman Josi. 16 wins, 233 goals against average. I did not see a save percentage, but I'm willing to bet it was very good if he won the Conn Smythe trophy, as somehow the Predators are going to go back-to-back. I'm totally shocked by this. I did not expect this whatsoever, as here comes Roman Josi yet again for a second year straight, coming to lift the Stanley Cup, as the Predators have gone back-to-back here in year number 2. Now, for the playoffs, Nikita Kucherov is going to lead in points with 23 in only 18 games. Barzal had 22 and 10 goals. Roman Josi had 22. Draisaitl 21. So I do understand why UC Saros would go on and win the Conn Smythe trophy. Nobody really stood out here. Pasta is going to take on the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart trophy. The Norris to Quinn Hughes. The Conn Smythe will go to UC Saros. The Vezina to Georgiev. And the Selke will go to Anze Kopitar yet again. So at the end of season number 3, the Boston Bruins are going to go ahead and be the best record in the entire NHL. Be the best record? What am I even saying? They were the best team in the NHL regardless. They went 50, 21, and 11. Good enough for 111 points. Followed by the Ottawa Senators, who did have 52 wins. Dallas had 52 as well. Carolina was up there. Detroit, Washington, Winnipeg. Now at the bottom, we have the Buffalo Sabres. Florida was pretty bad. Only 33 wins. The Arizona Coyotes, Devils, St. Louis. Obviously, Chicago is going to always be down here for the video. Mark Scheifele is going to lead the entire NHL NHL in scoring with 125 points, followed by Ovechkin's 116. Tyler Seguin had 113, which is a career high for him as he's never even hit 100 points, and now he's got 113. Brady Tkachuk had 112, Marner 111, Kopitar was up there, Matthews had 106, McDavid 106. Now for the goal side, Cole Caulfield's going to lead with 71 goals, followed by Ovi, who had 64, Crosby 59, Seguin 54, Laine had 54, Tkachuk had 53, Anze Kopitar was up there, Mark Scheifele, Matthews. Now for defensemen, Erik Karlsson's going to lead with 99 points, followed by Quinn Hughes is 95, Cale Makar had 86, Josh Morrissey 79, Karlsson had 78. Roman Josi had a very bad season, even though he is, oh my god, he dropped down to a 98 overall. Korpisalo is going to lead for wins with goalies with 45, followed by Hellebuck's 43, Demko at 43, Freddie Anderson had 42. Now for shutouts, Tristan Jarry, Carter Hart, and Ilya Sorokin are all going to tie for the most at 5 apiece. And this is our playoff matchups in year number 3. We do have the Battle of Alberta, and Pittsburgh and Boston should be a good series as well. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have a very weird matchup between the Minnesota Wild and the Washington Capitals, but it should be a very fun one as we do have Ovi at a 99 and Kaprizov, 2 Russian bombs. So let's see who goes on and takes home the Stanley Cup at the end of season number 3. And the Minnesota Wild are going to spoil the summer of Ovi ×2 as they go ahead and beat the Capitals in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Finals. Pretty much dominate them. I mean, it was not that close, but so far every Stanley Cup Finals matchup has won in 5 games, just like in real life last season. So it really hasn't been that competitive in the finals. Hopefully we get like a 7-game series, as of course Kaprizov is going to take home the Conn Smythe, 13 goals and 28 points. Definitely well deserved, as I do believe the Minnesota Wild have never won a Stanley Cup in their franchise's history. Now I could be wrong about that, maybe if you count the North Stars. I don't know if they won a cup, but Minnesota, I believe, is going to win it for the very first time here, as their captain Jared Spurgeon coming to lift the Stanley Cup, as they have gone all the way here in year number 3. Just like Corey Perry with Connor Bedard's mother. Too far? Maybe. Kaprizov is going to lead everybody in scoring with 28 points, followed by Ovi's 25. He also had 18 goals. Pacioretty somehow had 15 goals and 22 points. Jordan Eberle, 22. Zuccarello, 22. Mark Scheifele will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy, while Cole Caulfield's going to win that Maurice Richard. The Norris will go to Quinn Hughes. The Conn Smythe to Kaprizov. The Vezina to Linus Ullmark. And the Selke will go to Anze Kopitar yet again. Oh, at the end of season number 4, the Red Wings are going to go on and be the best team in the NHL as they go 51, 26, and 5. Good enough for 107 points. Followed by the Dallas Stars, who also won 51 games. Colorado was up there. Vancouver was very good. The Islanders and Tampa Bay now at the bottom. We have the St. Louis Blues, the Philadelphia Flyers. Calgary was bad. I mean, they're a poverty franchise. Seattle, Vegas, San Jose. Steven Stamkos is going to go ahead and lead everybody in scoring with 123 points, followed by Kucherov's 122. Patrick Kane had 115. Tyler Seguin again was up there. Crosby had a good season. Scheifele had 111. Pettersson 111. Now on the goal side, Kaprizov is going to lead with 60 on the season, followed by Ovi's 59. Patrick Laine had 59. Crosby 58. Robertson 55. Zegras had 55. How many of those were Michigan's? Let me know in the comments below. Stammer was good, as well as Kucherov. Now for defensemen, Cale Makar is going to lead, 21 goals and 99 points. Roman Josi had 98. Quinn Hughes had 95, also 29 goals. Shea Weber had 82. Ville Husso and Jake Ottinger are going to tie for the most wins by goalie with 43, my bad. Followed by Demko's 41. Sorokin at 41. Shesterkin 39. Now for shutouts, Jonas Korpisalo is going to have 9 shutouts on the season. Followed by Freddie Anderson, who had 7. Shesterkin had 7, Ullmark 6, Vanacek 6. And we have the Minnesota Wild yet again back in the Stanley Cup Finals, but this time they're up against the Carolina Hurricanes. So we have Brent Burns versus Kirill Kaprizov. The Minnesota Wild looking to go back-to-back. Let's see who goes on and takes it. The Minnesota Wild have just pulled off a 3-1 comeback in the Stanley Cup Finals over the Carolina Hurricanes, as they were down 3-1 in the series, rallied off 3 straight, and Carolina somehow is going to choke, as the Wild are going to go back-to-back here for consecutive seasons winning the Stanley Cup. Carolina, man, you guys folded so hard. As yet again, Kirill Kaprizov's going to go back-to-back 17 goals and 34 points. That's a hell of a postseason run. As I thought they were cooked. I thought the Wild were done after they fell down 3-1, but somehow they're going to win 3 straight and then clutch out a Game 6 or Game 7 victory on home ice. As here comes Jared Spurgeon yet again coming to lift the Stanley Cup for the 2nd straight season. As the first 2 years we had Nashville going back-to-back, and now we have the Minnesota Wild. So obviously Kaprizov's going to lead the NHL in goals with 17 and points with 34 for the playoffs. Matt Zuccarello had 32. Scheifele had 29. Jerkane had a very good postseason run. Your Mom's a Ho had 26. Brent Burns was up there as well as Svechnikov. Stammer is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy, while Kaprizov's going to win that Maurice Richard. The Norris will yet again go to Quinn Hughes. The Conn Smythe obviously to Kirill. The Vezina will go to Jonas Korpisalo, and the Selke's going to go to Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So at the end of the final season, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to go ahead and be the best team in the NHL as they go 49, 26, and 7, 105 points, followed by the Edmonton Oilers, who had 45 wins. Red Wings were up there with 48. Buffalo was very good. The Islanders as well as Dallas. At the bottom, we have the Minnesota Wild. After going back-to-back 2 straight seasons, they're going to finish as the worst team in the entire NHL with 31 wins. Scheifele is going to go ahead and lead everybody in points with 125, followed by Stammers 119. Kucherov had 118. McDavid was up there, of course. Kyle Connor was very good. Connor Bedard had 109. Ovi 108. Jack Hughes 108. Now for the goals side, Ovi's going to lead with 68 on the season, followed by Kaprizov's 59. Laine had 58. Zegras damn near had 60. Caulfield 58. Bedard 57. Matthews is up there now for defenseman. Cale Makar is going to lead, finally hitting 100 points. He had 106, followed by Drysdale's 89. Also 35 goals. That's almost 40 goals for a defenseman. That's insane. Roman Josi has 87. Jake Ottinger is going to lead all goalies and wins with 39, followed by Vasi's 38. Cam Talbot had 38. Now for the shutout side, Ilya Sorokin will lead with 7. Vejmelka had 6. Igor 6. And Binnington had 5. And here it is, our 5th and final playoff run. So let's go ahead and see who makes the Stanley Cup Finals. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have 2 powerhouses between the Colorado Avalanche and the Boston Bruins. Obviously, Pasta versus Makar for the 99 overall players. But let's see who's going to go on and take home that Stanley Cup at the end of the final season. The Colorado Avalanche are going to run through the Boston Bruins in 4 games, as not even one of these games were even close. I mean, the closeout game was a 5-1 victory for the Avs. They were just by far the better team, as they're going to cruise to the Stanley Cup here in year number 5. They get their first of the video. Obviously, the first 2 seasons, Nashville won it, and then Minnesota went back-to-back. And now the Colorado Avalanche are going to complete this simulation of 99 overall players, my favorite players on each team, as Nathan MacKinnon is going to win the Conn Smythe, not Cale Makar. 15 goals, 29 points for the dog, who's probably going to go on and win his very first Hart Trophy this season, and well-deserved. He's on an absolute tear, as Colorado yet again wins another Stanley Cup. They got one in 2022, and now 5 years later, 6 years later, are going to win another one here in the simulation. The Colorado Avalanche are your Stanley Cup champions here in the 5th and final season of the video, so congrats to them. Scheifele is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy, while Ovi's going to take home that Maurice Richard. The Norris will go to Cale Makar. The Conn Smythe to Nathan MacKinnon. The Vezina to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on the Buffalo Sabres. And the Selke, yet again, is going to go to Sidney Crosby. And there you have it. We saw teams that normally never go on and win the Stanley Cup go on and do it. Not only do it, but go back-to-back in the Predators and the Wild. And that is simply from me making my favorite player on every single franchise a 99 overall here in the game. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.